everywhere you look, it's on every headline. Everyone's talking about chat GBT and artificial intelligence. And my question, as I start to think about this, and there's all kinds of things I'm going to share with you in this video that have to do with the question that I've been thinking about as it relates to the real estate industry. And that is OpenAI and all these different AI platforms, is this something that we should be promoting? Is this something we should be excited about? Or should we approach this with a little bit of caution or a little bit of reservation? Is it something that we should be concerned about, that we should actually fear? And I bring this to your awareness, and really this is what I've been thinking about lately, because Elon Musk has been on a bunch of different interviews lately, and he has been talking a lot about his concerns with chat GPT and OpenAI. And if you didn't know, I mean, Elon Musk was the one responsible for OpenAI because of the way AI was going, and he wasn't happy with how Google and the owners of Google, how they were handling this. And so Elon Musk took it upon himself to say, well, I want to have this OpenAI, this nonprofit, which then became Chat GPT. And I want you to listen to some of the concerns that Elon Musk has about AI, and then we'll get into maybe some of the concerns in the real estate industry.
We're rapidly headed towards digital superintelligence that far exceeds any human. I think it's very obvious.
ChatGPT, I think, has illustrated to people just how advanced AI has become. And there are much more advanced versions of that are coming out.
I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot.
Because if one company or small group of people manages to develop godlike digital superintelligence, they can take over the world.
Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes.
At least when there's an evil dictator, that fewer is going to die. But for an AI, there would be no death. It would live forever. And then you'd have an immortal dictator from which we can never escape.
You know, it's quite dangerous technology, and I fear I may have done some things to accelerate it.
You know, I played a significant role in the creation of OpenAI. Essentially, at the time, I was concerned that Google was not paying enough attention to AI safety, and so I created OpenAI. And although initially it was created as an open source nonprofit, now it is closed source and for profit.
So pretty, for me, hearing Elon Musk talk about his concerns with this, the guy who really knows more about AI probably than anybody else on the planet, and hearing him share his concerns really got me thinking, and I see all kinds of reports and headlines coming out in real estate about how, people are excited about AI and all these, upsides. But recently there was a report that came out that got my attention, and it was the fact that the CFPB and the DOJ warn about AI advances and that they are not an excuse to break laws. I'm going to share some insights from this report, and then I'm going to share something even more interesting that literally just happened that essentially paused all AI development. And I'll get to that in just a second. So this recent report talks about how a lot of these agencies are saying that while emerging AI platforms are not widely regulated, that existing laws must obviously still be followed. And that's the big concern with the CFPB and the DOJ. So the report said representatives of the federal enforcement and regulatory agencies, including the CFPB and the Department of Justice, Federal Trade Commission, and Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, are warning that emergence of AI technology does not give a license to break existing laws pertaining to civil rights, fair competition, consumer protection, and equal opportunity. Potential discrimination outcomes in the CFPB's areas of focus are the chief concern. And this is what the report said, and I quote, "Technology marked as AI has spread to every corner of the economy, and regulators need to stay ahead of its growth to prevent discrimination outcomes and threaten families' financial stability. Today's joint statement makes it clear that the CFPB will work with its partner enforcement agencies to root out discrimination caused by any tool or system that enables unlawful decision making. These agencies have had had addressed the rise of AI recently. They're all coming out and talking about this now. Last year, the CFPB published a report confirming that consumer protection laws remain in place for its industries, regardless of the technology being used to serve the consumer. This is where we're seeing all these platforms, these real estate platforms coming up using AI, and the concern with those. And I've got some fears and some concerns that I've been thinking about. I'm going to share with you guys in a second. The report went on to say that the DOJ's Civil Rights Division in January published a statement of interest in federal court explaining that the Fair Housing Act applies to algorithm-based tenant screening services after a lawsuit in Massachusetts alleged that the use of these algorithm-based scoring systems to screen tenants discriminated against Black and Hispanic rental applicants. The FTC published a report in June warning about harms that could come from AI platforms, including inaccurate information, bias, discrimination, and commercial surveillance creep. And here's an example. While machines crunching numbers might seem capable of taking human bias out of the equation, that's not what is happening. Findings from academic studies and news reporting raise serious questions about algorithmic bias. For example, a statistic analysis of 2 million mortgage applications found that Black families were 80% more likely to be denied by the algorithm when compared to white families with similar financial credit backgrounds. And so these protection bureaus or agencies are all over this. And in fact, it's not just real estate that or consumer protection agencies that are concerned. The future of life organization is also concerned. It's a lot of people finally raising concerns that this thing could get way out of control. And so the future of life, they just released this article that essentially pauses all AI development for 6 months. Let me share my screen and share with you what it says. All right, so this is right on their website. It says AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity, as shown by extensive research and acknowledged by top AI labs. As stated in a widely endorsed AI Principles Advanced IA could represent a profound change in the history of life on Earth and should be planned for and managed with care and resources. Unfortunately, this level of planning and management is not happening. Even though recent months have seen AI labs locked in an out-of-control race to development and deploy even more powerful digital minds that no one, not even the creators, can understand, predict, or reliably control. And they went on to talk about all the different reasons why all AI development needs to be paused, shut down, reevaluated. And I think that was the smartest thing that could have happened. And that report was released, I think, just a couple weeks ago. And so this gets my mind thinking about, okay, obviously there's a lot of excitement around OpenAI in real estate, but what are the downsides? What are the potential harms? Because people are like, well, what's the big deal? Well, just imagine for a second, okay? Because you look at social media. There are so many social media accounts right now that simply are not human beings. And you would not even know it. They're starting. There's thousands of them, on these social media channels every day. They're not human beings. And so imagine the harm that can be done if a bot or some type of AI has a social media account, starts to message people, starts to lead someone potentially to believe that, these are some of the things I'm thinking about. Leading someone to believe that they're going to be selling their house and they're having a conversation with the potential buyer, getting that buyer to apply for a mortgage, get into some financial situations where the whole thing wasn't even real. What about a lot of these AI platforms talk about the potential replacement of real estate humans, you and I, real estate agents, in the contract to close process? Well, think about all the harm that could be done there. That an AI platform, you don't know if it's real or not, is emailing somebody, drafting its own addendums to cause massive financial harm in a real estate transaction. These are just some of the things that I think about as downside, unintended consequences of unregulated AI platforms, amongst many others. This is just the start. And the fact that we just don't know, and again, I think that this report or this pause that came out from the futureoflife.org is so smart, because I think that the potential upsides, maybe we find, and we being the human race find, that they don't outweigh the downside potential threat that is posed by AI. And so I would love to see this thing just slow down, everybody relax, instead of, rushing into this to potentially find something catastrophic that happens and then there's no turning back. So curious to kind of get your guys' thoughts on, OpenAI, Chat GPT, the potential risks that maybe you have thought about. I understand all the upsides. I mean, I made a video about the cool things that it can do. I get it. But with that, with that, I think comes great responsibility. And I think it's smart to see the world doing what it's doing.